The old Victorian house loomed before them, a silhouette against the dying light. Its towering structure seemed to pierce the sky, casting long, eerie shadows on the ground. The house had an air of mystery, as if it held countless untold stories within its walls. Its windows were dark, vacant eyes staring out at Sarah and Lily. The glass panes, covered in a thin layer of dust, reflected the last rays of the setting sun, giving the house an almost ethereal glow. It was as if the house itself was alive, watching their every move. The wind howled through the ancient trees, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching out to grasp them. The trees, gnarled and twisted, seemed to whisper secrets of the past, their leaves rustling in a haunting melody. The forest surrounding the house was dense and dark, adding to the sense of isolation and foreboding. This was their sanctuary, their escape from the horrors of the past. Sarah and Lily had left behind a life filled with pain and sorrow, hoping to find solace in this remote place. The house, despite its ominous appearance, represented a fresh start, a chance to rebuild and heal. Yet, as Sarah parked the car, a shiver ran down her spine. The cold air seemed to seep into her bones, and she couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. She glanced around nervously, her eyes darting from shadow to shadow, but saw nothing out of the ordinary. This house held secrets, she could feel it. There was an unspoken history here, a sense of something lurking just beneath the surface. Sarah's intuition told her that this place had seen both joy and tragedy, and she wondered what stories the walls could tell if they could speak.
Mommy, it looks scary. Lily's voice trembled as she spoke, her small hand clutching her mother's tightly. The fear in her eyes was palpable, and Sarah's heart ached for her daughter.
Lily, her face pale and drawn, clutched her teddy bear tighter. The stuffed animal was a source of comfort, a reminder of happier times. She held it close, as if it could protect her from the unknown. Her voice was barely audible above the wind. The gusts seemed to carry away her words, leaving only the echo of her fear. The wind whipped around them, tugging at their clothes and hair, adding to the sense of unease.
Don't worry, sweetheart. It's just an old house. We'll make it our home. Sarah's voice was calm and reassuring, but inside she was battling her own fears. She knew she had to be strong for Lily, to show her that they could overcome anything together.
Sarah forced a smile, her heart heavy with unspoken fear. She wanted to believe her own words, to trust that they could find peace here. But the weight of the past was hard to shake, and the future seemed uncertain. But even as she spoke, doubt gnawed at her. The house, with its dark history and eerie presence, seemed to challenge her resolve. She wondered if they had made the right choice, if this place could truly be their refuge. Could they truly escape the past in a place like this? The overgrown yard and dilapidated exterior spoke of neglect and abandonment. It was a stark contrast to the life they had left behind, and Sarah couldn't help but feel a pang of regret. Sarah took a deep breath, the air thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. The musty smell filled her lungs, grounding her in the present moment. She knew she had to face her fears head-on, for both her sake and Lily's. She had to be strong for Lily. The determination in her eyes was clear, a resolve to protect her daughter at all costs. No matter what challenges lay ahead, Sarah was ready to face them. She had to believe that this was a new beginning, a chance to heal and rebuild their lives. Holding Lily's hand, she felt a surge of hope. Together they could create a new life, free from the shadows of the past. As they stepped out of the car and into the biting wind, she felt a sense of foreboding settle over her like a shroud. The cold air seemed to wrap around them, a reminder of the challenges they would face. But Sarah was determined to push through, to find the light in the darkness. The house seemed to watch their every move, its silence more menacing than any scream. It was as if the very walls were alive, holding their breath, waiting to reveal their secrets. But Sarah and Lily were ready to face whatever lay ahead, together. The musty air hung heavy in the house, thick with the scent of decay and forgotten things. Dust motes danced in the faint rays of sunlight that filtered through the grimy windows. The house creaked and groaned around them, as if disturbed from a long sleep. Lily clung to Sarah's hand, her eyes wide with apprehension.
Mommy, I don't like it here.
Lily's voice trembled as she whispered.
It's all right, Lily. It's just an old house. It needs a little love, that's all.
Sarah knelt before her, forcing a reassuring smile. But even as she spoke, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease that clung to her like a shadow. The house felt oppressive, suffocating, as if the very walls were closing in on them. They explored the house, each room filled with the remnants of a forgotten life. Faded wallpaper hung in tattered strips, revealing the bare bones beneath. Cobwebs adorned every corner and dust covered every surface. The air was thick with the weight of memories, whispers of the past that sent chills down Sarah's spine. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone, that something else lurked in the shadows, watching them, waiting. Days turned into weeks, and the once vibrant atmosphere of the house began to feel oppressive. The walls seemed to close in, and the air grew thick with an unspoken tension. The feeling of unease that had settled over Sarah on their arrival only intensified. Strange occurrences plagued them, each one more unsettling than the last. Doors creaked open on their own as if moved by invisible hands. Footsteps echoed in the dead of night, reverberating through the empty hallways and sending chills down their spines. Disembodied whispers seemed to follow them from room to room, their sinister tones growing louder with each passing day. Lily grew increasingly withdrawn, her once vibrant eyes now clouded with fear. The laughter that once filled the house was replaced by an eerie silence. Sarah tried to rationalize the events, to convince herself and Lily that it was just the old house settling, that there was a logical explanation for everything. She spoke in soothing tones, attempting to mask her own growing dread. "It's just the wind," she would say, though her voice wavered with uncertainty. But deep down, a seed of dread had taken root in her heart. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong.
One evening, while cleaning the attic, Sarah stumbled upon a hidden compartment behind a loose wall panel. The discovery was unexpected, and her heart raced with a mix of curiosity and fear. Inside, she found a leather-bound diary, its pages brittle with age. The cover was worn and the leather cracked, but it held an undeniable allure. The diary belonged to a woman named Amelia, a previous resident of the house. Sarah's fingers trembled as she turned the pages, eager to uncover the secrets within. As Sarah delved deeper into Amelia's words, a chilling tale unfolded before her eyes. The entries were filled with sorrow and despair, painting a picture of a life overshadowed by darkness. Amelia wrote of a family torn apart by tragedy, of love lost and dreams shattered. The pain in her words was palpable, and Sarah felt a deep connection to the woman who had lived in the house before her. Amelia's husband had been driven to madness by grief, his mind unraveling as he struggled to cope with their loss. The house had become a prison, its walls echoing with his tormented cries. And there was a dark secret that haunted the halls of the house, a presence that seemed to lurk in the shadows, watching and waiting.
The diary spoke of a hidden room, sealed off from the rest of the house. Amelia had discovered it by accident, much like Sarah had found the diary. Amelia believed that her husband had hidden something terrible within its walls, something that had driven him to the brink of insanity. The thought of what might be hidden there filled Sarah with dread. She could almost hear the echoes of his madness, the whispers of a mind unraveling. Sarah's blood ran cold as she read the final entry, Amelia's words scrawled in a desperate hand. The fear in her writing was unmistakable, and it sent a shiver down Sarah's spine. Amelia's final words were a plea for help, a cry of desperation that seemed to echo through the years.
"He is coming for me. The shadows have taken him. The shadows have taken him. They whisper to me, telling me to join them. God have mercy on my soul. I fear I am next."
The diary ended abruptly, leaving Sarah with a chilling question. What had become of Amelia? The mystery of the hidden room and the dark secret it held consumed her thoughts. Sarah knew she had to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The fate of Amelia, and perhaps her own, depended on it. A palpable sense of dread filled the air, thick and suffocating, as if the very walls were closing in on them, suffocating Sarah with its icy grip. Her breath came in shallow gasps, each one a struggle against the overwhelming fear that threatened to consume her. The diary's revelations had shattered her fragile sense of security, each word a dagger to her already fragile psyche, replacing it with a chilling realization, a truth so horrifying that it left her paralyzed with fear. They were not alone in the house. The whispers, the footsteps, the creaking of the old wooden floors, the feeling of being watched. It all made sense now. Every shadow seemed to move with a life of its own. Every corner held a lurking presence. Amelia's story was not just a tale confined to the pages of a diary. It was alive, breathing, and very much real, woven into the very fabric of the house. The walls seemed to whisper secrets, the air thick with the weight of untold stories. The atmosphere in the house grew heavy with unspoken fear. Every creak, every groan of the old house seemed to echo with the voices of the past. Lily refused to leave Sarah's side, her eyes wide with terror, her small frame trembling, her small hand gripping her mother's with a desperate strength. Sleep offered no respite, the nights filled with terror, haunted by nightmares of shadowy figures and blood-curdling screams. Each night was a battle against the horrors that lurked in the darkness. The line between reality and nightmare blurred, the horrors of the night seeping into the day, each waking moment a torment. Sarah's mind was a battlefield, each thought a struggle against the encroaching madness. Sarah felt a growing sense of despair, a hopelessness that gnawed at her soul. The walls of the house seeming to close in on them, each room a prison, each hallway a trap, trapping them with the ghosts of the past. The house was a living entity feeding on their fear, growing stronger with each passing moment.
"Hello, Sarah." The voice was a whisper, yet it cut through the silence like a knife. "I know where you are." The word sent a chill down her spine, her blood turning to ice.
One stormy evening, as thunder rattled the old house, Sarah received a call. The storm outside mirrored the turmoil within her. Her blood ran cold as she recognized the voice on the other end, her ex-husband, a man whose presence was a dark shadow over her life. His tone laced with a chilling calmness that belied the violence she knew he was capable of. Panic surged through her, a wave of terror that left her breathless, her heart pounding against her ribs like a trapped bird. Each beat a reminder of the danger that loomed ever closer. He was coming for them. The realization hit her like a physical blow, the weight of it almost too much to bear. They were no longer safe, the walls of the house offering no protection against the evil that sought them. Not even within the walls of this haunted house. The house that once seemed like a refuge was now a prison, its dark secrets threatening to consume them all.